Why Leica? It's the next logical step for a Fujifilm shooter. Let me share with you why would you want to choose Leica if you are a Fujifilm shooter and you have some insatisfaction regarding the size of the sensor, regarding the lenses, regarding the AF. So let's talk about this now. Hi there and welcome to my channel. My name is Tudor Matescu and I like to talk about photography tips, tricks and camera gear. And I'm very passionate about Fujifilm and also about Leica. So, Fujifilm. I really love the Fujifilm cameras and how the Fujifilm are acting. Fujifilm cameras are known as an alternative for Leica, as a budget-friendly alternative. Well, Fujifilm is great, but if you're like me and if you want a full frame sensor with all the lenses that are on the market out there, you'll feel that you'll have an APS-C sensor. So you are a Fujifilm shooter, but you want full frame. So what's the next logical step? Well, personally, I've tried Sony A7C. Small camera with great lenses, and in a future video I will share with you what are the lenses that can make a Sony camera feel like a Fujifilm camera. But also, even with those lenses, you'll not feel that you are there. You'll not feel that mojo working. You'll not have the ergonomics. Also, you'll not have the colors of a Fujifilm cameras. And yes, a Leica camera doesn't have film simulations, but it has great colors. So I want to share with you 5 reasons why, after trying Sony full frame and after looking at Nikon ZF, I've decided to go with Leica. So first of all, the number one reason that I'm glad that I've chose Leica, and I didn't know that I will be so glad, just after the purchase I've realized, wow, this is a good purchase. The colors of the JPEGs and also in the RAW files, but let's talk just about the JPEGs. Standard profile, where you have some settings, contrast, medium contrast, sharpness, and you have some film simulations and options that I didn't try yet, but I'm just talking about the standard profile of this Leica. This is Leica MP240, and I'm really glad that I've chose this model. I'm really glad that I've did this, and also I will address in another video why I'm so glad. So one of the reasons is the colors. The JPEGs from this camera are outstanding. In general, I'm not too excited about colors. I like black and white photography. But also for black and white photography, an APS-C is not an ideal option. A full frame, it's also an ideal option. So have that in mind also as a bonus tip. So I'm liking Fujifilm colors. They are okay, but I'm not like other Fujifilm fanboys that are saying, wow, Fujifilm colors, wow, I don't have those colors on other cameras. The Fujifilm film simulations, I can't live without them. No, they're okay, but they don't make me to say, wow, how much I love them. And this excitement never happened to me. But with Leica JPEGs, especially MP240 or M240 JPEGs, I was blown away about the colors. With Leica MP240, I was amazed. This was the first time in my life when I said, wow. So nice looking JPEGs, so nice looking colors, I'm loving the colors. This was the first time when I was, wow, I'm so thrilled that I have such beautiful JPEGs. So, colors, JPEGs, colors in this camera, even if you have one option, the colors are out of this world. They are very pleasing, very nice looking, and the entire image is rendering at another level, at a totally another level. It's not a digital look. So this is another reason why I do recommend Leica MP240 compared to Leica M10 or M11. So very organically look, but this will be a discussion, how I've said, for another video. And by the way, I have a special newsletter dedicated to the passionate photographers. So if you want to learn more about photography tips, tricks and all kinds of useful information for free, please subscribe to my newsletter, link in the comments and description. Now let's talk about image quality from Fujifilm to Leica. Well, image quality, it's a subjective thing, but I want to address some points that are very important for me, for myself. With Fujifilm cameras, I was always feeling that I'm not winning much compared to a Micro Four Thirds camera. I don't have full frame bite, but I will talk about this lens and probably the video is published, and I was always dissatisfied with the image quality. There are only 3 lenses that I'm feeling I love in the Fujifilm system. The 35mm f1.4, the 18mm f2 that it's rendering like the 35mm f1.4, and this Voigtlander lens. This is the lens that, yes, is giving me Leica-like images on Fujifilm. So this is the only lens, and probably other lenses that will come from Voigtlander, but Ultron version. Ultron version I do recommend, not the Nocton version, even if the Nocton version is looking great from what I was able to see. But the Ultron, definitely it has 3D pop, definitely it has Leica-like rendering with the touch of Voigtlander characteristics, so a busier bokeh and so on. But overall, I was not able to find and to discover a lens that will give me that bite, that sharpness, that 3D pop, that subject to background separation. On full frame, it's easier to get this, so this is why Nikon, Sony, Canon are a good alternative and an easy way to get that 3D pop, but subject to background separation, it's not 3D pop. It's just subject to background separation. But on Leica, you have 3D pop and also subject to background separation because of the focal length and also because of the aperture. But more than that, you have that 3D pop. So this TT Artisan, it's rendering beautiful, and I will not talk about the Leica lenses because I do hope in the future to buy some Leica lenses. But if you study online, the 35mm f2 Summicron, the 50mm f2 Summicron, let's talk just about these budget options in the Leica system, you'll find images and renderings that you will not be able to find on other systems. And also the rendering is totally different from a modern full frame sensor like A7C, Nikon ZF and so on. So this is the only system that will offer you that image quality. And especially this sensor, the Leica MP240. Just go on Flickr and study the files, or go on the Facebook groups and look at the JPEGs from this camera, and also try to download some raw files. The sensor, it's out of this world. It's out of this world. It's so organically looking. It's so beautiful. It's rendering so organically. You don't have that digital sharpness. You have sharpness, you have bite, you have smooth bokeh, you have 3D pop, but you don't have that digital ugly sharpness. So a touch, a next level touch. So this camera, it's taking raw files and JPEG files that are looking like a beautiful film. So really next level compared to Fujifilm. Now let's talk about the lenses, Fujifilm versus Leica, and why would you want to go to Leica again if you just want to upgrade. I don't force you to upgrade, I don't suggest you to upgrade, but if you have dissatisfactions and if you want more, this is why I recommend Leica and not Sony or Nikon. Nikon can be an option, but it's very big and cumbersome. I've talked about this in another video, and Leica has these great lenses. So the next reason is that you have lenses, plenty of lenses. Yes, they are expensive lenses, but you can find very good alternatives that are rendering almost like Leica. Next, you have the medium price lenses like the Voigtlander lenses and the top-notch lenses like the Leica lenses. So overall, you'll be able to discover very good lenses. And if you are asking me, for me, it really deserves to sell some of my Fujifilm gear and to acquire a Leica body, and in the future acquire a Leica lens. So I really do feel that it's an upgrade even if I don't have AF. And let's talk now about the AF and manual focusing experience, Fujifilm versus Leica. I feel that this is the big elephant in the room. Lots of users, and myself included, I didn't want to go to Leica because I was afraid regarding the manual focusing experience, that I would not be able to nail focus, that it's hard to nail focus and so on. But after using Voigtlander on Fujifilm, and after I was very thrilled with the Voigtlander lens, and I am thrilled with the Voigtlander lens, but not so thrilled as on Leica. So this lens, it's almost perfect, but not perfect. This is the problem with Fujifilm. Almost perfect, but not perfect. I've made several videos about this Voigtlander and why I love it and why I do recommend it and why it's okay for the price and why it's the only lens that is rendering full frame like images on Fujifilm. But it's not up there as Voigtlander lenses on Leica. So regarding manual focusing experience, I feel that you'll be as fast on Leica as a Fujifilm camera with 35mm f1.4. So if you will practice and practice and practice, it will be very easily to nail the focus at f1.4 using the patch finder, using the range finder. Also, you have an option that it's working with cheap lenses like this TT Artisan budget lenses that you will not be able to find the option on Fujifilm. On Fujifilm, you need to pay premium price for a lens with electronic contacts to have that option. So that option is called punch in zoom. So when I'm moving the focusing tab, the camera will punch in zoom where I want to get the focus. So it's an easy option. If you don't have a lens with electronic contacts, you must set up a custom button. I've made several tests over the year. I'm not liking this option. I'm not liking to shoot with a custom button for punch in zoom. So this is why I've decided to buy a lens with electronic contacts that are limited on the Fujifilm system and at a big price, at a Leica price. Next, this TT Artisan, it's cheaper. I've bought it on the used market and I've paid half the price of the Voigtlander lens. So, TT Artisan 50mm f1.4, half the price of a Voigtlander lens with electronic contacts. Big difference, I'm starting to earn money and not to spend money, because this is another good tip. You don't lose money with Leica lenses and with Leica bodies. They keep their values for a long time. What does this lens do on my Leica M? Any lens that it's detected by the Leica M system, so I think it must be 6-bit code. It's not clear for me what lenses are detected and aren't detected right now, but again, I didn't expect that the punch in zoom, it will work with TT Artisan, a budget Leica M lens, but it's working. So I have punch in zoom with any Leica lens with a focusing tab, or any Voigtlander lens with a focusing tab without electronic contacts. So I don't know how the system is working at this time, but it's working. So, how I've said, I've paid half the price for a full frame lens that I can adapt also on Fujifilm, but also on Sony, Nikon, and I have punch in zoom on Leica. I have a working great rangefinder system and punch in zoom with the live view at half the price. And the images from this TT Artisan are amazing, are really amazing, and all the reviewers praise this lens and compare it to 50mm f1.4 Sumilux. They said that this is 95% of that lens. I don't know, but I'm liking it very much. I'm really liking it. I feel I have made no compromise with this lens. In conclusion, I'm feeling that the decision was right because I wasn't satisfied how Sony worked. I have all the lenses that I need on the Sony system, but there are some quirks there for a street photographer that wants a machine, a tool that it's bringing perfection. And this camera, it's bringing perfection for my like. When I don't want to use the rangefinder system, when I don't want to use this full frame camera, I can easily go to the Fujifilm cameras, and I will especially use Fujifilm cameras with Voigtlander, this Voigtlander Ultra. I'm totally recommending it with 35mm f1.4 and with the 18mm f2. This will be my go-to lenses for Fujifilm, and for Leica I will use the lenses that I will get and I have now. But if you want better image quality, if you want better rendering, if you want full frame quality, I feel that even if you will go to Sony, you'll miss Fujifilm. But if you will go to Leica, I feel that you will not miss Fujifilm, because you have the colors, you have the full frame sensor, you have a rendering from this sensor, especially the Leica MP240, out of this world regarding how it's looking. Amazing. You have lenses, you have all that you need to get the picture in focus. Yes, it's a different system, but I feel that Fujifilm is near with these Voigtlander lenses, but how I've said, not near enough. So if you want full frame quality, my opinion is that the best choice, it's not Nikon ZF or Sony. The best choice for a Fujifilm shooter and fan it's Leica. Leica, it's the next level for a Fujifilm shooter, and I'm saying this from my experience after trying Sony full frame. Please subscribe to my channel, give it a like, leave me your comments, and subscribe to my newsletter. I have a newsletter where I share tips and tricks about photography. And also please check the next video where I share with you why I sold my Fujifilm X100V for a Leica camera.